The year's 94.
All right. So we're going to finish talking about Penn State.
We're going to finish talking about it. And so we're up to 2005. And Sandusky again needs another victim from Second Mile, and he's like 11 or 12. In April 2005, Ray Ricker, who was the former district attorney who chose not to prosecute Sandusky, disappears. He disappears. They find some of his stuff in a river, but they never find his body. Like, that's really shady.
Right. Now you got death. Now you got murder. You got disappearing people disappearing.
So, spring 2008, victim one is now a freshman in high school, and his mother calls the school to report the sexual assault. And Sandusky, who was a volunteer coach at the school, is barred from the school district. The matter is reported to the authorities. So that was spring 2008. Early 2009, an investigation by the Pennsylvania Attorney General begins, and victim one tells the authorities that Sandusky has inappropriately touched him several times over a period of 4 years.
That's ridiculous.
Sandusky steps down from Second Mile. He says he wants to spend, some time with family and blah, blah, blah. Crap, pretty much. Because he knows shit's about to go down.
Right.
So the Harrisburg Patriot News reports that a grand jury is investigating accusations of Sandusky sexually assaulting boys. On November 5th, 2011, Sandusky is finally arrested and charged with sexually abusing 8 boys across a 15-year period. He's arraigned and released on a $100,000 bail after being charged with 40 counts related to the sexual abuse of the boys.
That's ridiculous, man.
I mean, the part that just burns me up.
Such a large quantity of victims.
It's just, there's all these victims because nobody has the balls enough to say, this is a problem, and we need to fire this person.
Right.
We need to fire. Just get rid of him.
Put it on his record. Restrict him. Put it on his record. Flag him as a sexual offender. But it's a small town. They done all these cover-ups. I'm telling you, once the first time it happened and it came out.
First and only time it ever happened. If it ever happened. It shouldn't happen, period.
It shouldn't happen.
But I'm just saying.
Right.
It should have not taken several times.
Right.
Okay? It should have not one time that somebody just said something remotely related to anything.
Right.
And that should have been it.
So, you don't sit back as a parent. You don't sit back and let somebody else fight your problem. That kid came home and told his parents. That parent should have been at the police station, at the local level, at the state level police station, at the federal level. I'm saying the parent quit. I'll be honest with you. That parent stopped action. Because that parent wouldn't have stopped action.
But obviously, they were protecting him
as
well. So it's not that the parent didn't care. It's not the parent didn't go after him. It's that a lot of the time they didn't care. They didn't do anything about it. They were protecting him. So obviously, they were probably shutting up the mom.
With threats, maybe?
With threats, with whatever. Hello, someone's fucking disappeared out of nowhere.
Right, her job. It's the parent, the father's job. Yeah, I mean, we really don't know the truth of how.
I'm sure we will once the trial starts and all that stuff.
We won't really know all the little details of the little boy that came home crying and in tears, or the parent that found blood in the little boy's underwear, and how they responded. But I'll tell you what, I would have got my shit and moved, and I would have started an all-out prosecution. It would have been my life goal to get this person put in jail.
Yeah.
Point blank. What else? What more important is there for one to protect your kids and then to vindicate your kids after they've been harmed? Well, there's nothing else. There's nothing else more important than that. So I promise you, man. I promise you. If I wouldn't have taken his life with my hands and my gun, I would have taken his life by making sure he was in prison. I promise you that much. But I'm not blaming the parent. I'm just pointing out that first time would have been the last time.
You just feel like they did.
Right. I'm saying. The lady just goddamn stopped Bank of America from charging us a $5 debit fee. She don't even know me, but I bank at the same bank she banks at. You know what I'm saying? People have revolutions in countries all the time. So if you feel like there's a way you can get a predator off the streets, do it. You just have to be confident in the fact that you're going to sacrifice your current life in order to protect all these other little kids that you don't don't even know, but damn, it ain't working.
So now, the university is firing everybody pretty much, Paterno, Sandusky, and the university's president, and has started an investigation about how the way that the university handled the allegations. And so I hope that there is justice, because there really needs to be justice, and the way that these people handled everything was completely wrong, and shutting things up and not saying anything was not the way to go. And so I just hope that for the sake of all these victims, there's justice.
What have we learned? What have we learned though?
We learned that when you see something wrong, you say something about it, and you do something about it, and you make sure that there is follow through, right? Because that's what happens. I mean, I have been in a situation where something, has happened inappropriate to me, and I regret this every single day, not saying something about it.
That's so messed up.
I regret it. I regret it because I feel like I should have said something at the time. I should have said something at the time, and I let years and years pass by, and I did never say anything. I mean, luckily there was justice because of another situation, but that's my fault. I feel like that person might have not gone through it had I said something. So it's just one of the things that you should not keep it to yourself. If you've ever been a victim of anything, you should say something, because that could save someone else's life, or that could save someone else being in that situation.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's true. I mean, I will say that I'm fortunate enough to not be a direct victim of sexual abuse, especially sexual molestation by an adult, by a teacher, by a church, especially that. But I don't need to be a direct victim. I know victims, and I know right from wrong, and that is simply just not wrong. If you can't handle being around these young kids, stay away from them. I know a guy that's dead right now, buried in the grave, and I was a kid when he was molesting my friends. He was molesting my friends, and the thing was, my dad brought him around us, but my dad didn't know he was like that. But you don't know. You don't know.
But once it came out, what kept you from not saying anything?
No. By the time I found out, it was because he was getting arrested. The kids didn't tell me. My friends didn't tell me that it was happening.
See, that's the thing.
Right.
What happens is a lot of times those victims won't say anything. I mean, we just keep it to ourselves for many different reasons. But I think that's one of the things that should stop. If you can tell anybody, just tell anybody. Just say something, because otherwise someone else will have to go through it in order for it to come out. And that's it's just that cycle is repeated.
And I mean, this dude, he died a gruesome death, man. He got stabbed 41 times. It was ridiculous. It was in Atlanta. And when I found out, I was just like, I know his history. He went to prison for it, and I know his history. So when I found out how he died, and he was killed by a young man, I already knew. Mm-hmm. It was somebody that didn't play that shit. It was somebody that didn't play that shit. It wasn't a breaking and entering. It was somebody invited into his home, and he got what he deserved, right?
Yeah.
He probably molested 30 people.
So,
he got 31 stabs.
We hope that the Penn State scandal really teaches some things to people and how they should say something.
We need to start a Speak Up campaign.
Yeah, just speak up. If you see something, you say, if something has happened to you, just say something. Because in the end, although some people might be upset at you at the beginning, in the end it pays off, and it's worth saying something about it.
On that note, we're going to take a break. We encourage y'all to speak up.
We'll be back with a new segment.
Enjoy this music if I can get some music up.
So you ain't got the clam.